Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be covering how to properly clean and maintain the glass on your car.
Lil guns down, lil guns down, lil guns down in the ground. Lil guns down, boy, or I will lay you down. Say your last prayer, and don't look back here no more. The Lord can't help you, you've gone too far for sure. I'm on the highway, hitting county loud, singing all the time.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're covering glass maintenance and glass cleaning. Now, whether it's kind of road grime, bug splatter, you know, water stains, contaminants, whatever it is that's on your glass and your front windscreen, it's kind of one of the worst kind of forms of dirt. It's the most noticeable thing. So I think being able to get your glass to a good standard when you detail and clean your car is a really important thing. And so the purpose of this video is to cover all areas of glass cleaning and provide you with kind of a method and a set of kind of equipment that will work well and deliver you really nice, clean crystal glass. We're going to break this video down into three parts, okay? A deep cleaning, aggressive decontamination of really filthy glass. So if you're a kind of professional valeter, or you're approaching and you're having to clean glass that hasn't been cleaned before, some automotive windscreens, you take a look at them and they haven't been cleaned properly, sometimes never, okay? And they could be covered in contaminants, bug splatter and bug guts that have gone all over the glass. You know, that old kind of joke, what's the last thing that goes through a fly's mind when it hits your windscreen? It's arsehole. That's never a true word spoken. You know, when you look through and see bug splatter on your window, you can see all the bits, all the internals, and that stuff when it dries is nasty to get off. But more importantly, kind of glass also gets blasted with fallout, you know, from prolonged use. It gets blasted or gets covered in tree sap sometimes, which regular cleaning can't get off. So the first step is a real deep, aggressive clean and decontamination of your glass. And if you're doing this on your own car, typically you'll have to do that deep clean once. And then from that point onwards, if you then do a regular kind of maintenance wash every week, you then just have to follow a much kind of more traditional method, which we'll cover in part 2, which is a maintenance kind of glass clean. And that will typically keep your glass going forever, because if you do it once a week, you don't allow those kind of contaminants and all the nasty stuff to build up. And the final part will be just a couple of little tips and products on how you can kind of help maintain that glass, reduce the ability of contaminants to build up on your glass, if you like. And we'll go through a couple of products that are going to help you there. So the most important thing to say about part 1, okay, the deep cleaning method. When you start cleaning your car, you know, you traditionally will start off with a kind of pre-wash and a snow foam and a shampoo when the car is outside, you know, you're doing all that sort of wet work, if that's what you call it. This deep cleaning is best done at that stage, okay? So normally when you're cleaning your glass, you leave it to the end, but this deep cleaning I do at that stage, and the reason is a lot of the products and the methods that you want will need rinsing away, okay? So it just fits in perfectly at that stage. So what I would do when you're going to go, you've decided that this car needs a deep clean on the external glassware, okay? Not necessarily the internal, which doesn't pick up all these contaminants, but that external needs a deep clean. First thing to note is you're going to do this at the washing phase of your car. So you'll go ahead, do your pre-wash on the bodywork, you know, whatever the method is. We're not covering that in that video. You'll rinse off all that pre-wash, and then you'll probably do a shampooing phase, okay? Now, when you finish that shampooing phase and you rinse off the shampoo and you've got a wet car, that is the time I will then go ahead and do this kind of decontamination phase on the car. And it doesn't take long. Now, what I would use is, what you're looking to do is you're looking for a device or a product, if you like, that's going to really aggressively scrub your glass without scratching your glass, okay? And there are a number of different things that you could choose to use, okay? And I've got a few of them here. You could choose to use these nylon kind of coated sponges that I find, you know, I've never scratched glass with this. It does give a good level of aggression, okay, and I've used these to deep clean glass. Or some people I know use these kind of really coarse, I'm not sure what they're called, these kind of coarse pads that are, they almost feel like things that you wash your plates with, okay? These are safe as well, and these will scrub your glass well. But what I choose to use, and what I think a lot of people use, is quadruple zeros, that's 0000 wire wool, okay? Now this stuff is really soft and really fine, but it scrubs glass so well. So, you know, I was talking about contaminants and bug splatter. This really gets at them and shifts it off the car. And what I do is I'll have my rinse bucket there, sorry, my wash bucket with the clean shampoo in it. I'll just take some of the foam off that clean shampoo and just wipe this with quite a lot of pressure over all of the windscreens on the outside of my car, and then just simply rinse them off, okay? And that will tear away all of those kind of things that are stuck to the windscreen, that if you just try and spray them with a cloth and a glass cleaner will not come off. So the reason I do a chemical decontamination of the glass is, as I mentioned in the introduction, that the bonded contaminants that can stick to your paintwork can also stick to your glass, okay? Now I find the worst one of these is sap, okay? There's a lot of sap. You know, if you park your car under a tree and it's the wrong time of year and that tree's doing its funky thing where it sheds all that sap, it can absolutely plaster your windscreen, okay? Now what I will do is use a tar and glue remover, and I will soak a cloth in it rather than spray it, because you lose control of the tar and glue remover when you spray it a little bit, and especially if it's atomizing, it can blow over the panels, and you just want to be a little bit careful with how you use tar and glue removers. We're going to be using, or I typically use, Autosmart Tardis on glass because it's a very aggressive tar and glue remover, and it just melts that stuff off there really quickly. And all you need to do with that particular product, the Autosmart Tardis, or any other tar and glue remover that you want to use, is soak your cloth in it, okay, or a section of your cloth, and just wipe it over your panel, and you will see that if there is any kind of sap or tar or little spots, you know, on there, they will just melt down as that product goes over them, and then you can come back over and kind of buff that loose liquid off. Get quite a lot on your cloth so you can see the film of it over the glass, would be my tip. With glass, you don't have to obviously treat it like clear coat, where you're really mindful of leaving a solvent product on your clear coat, especially in the heat. Glass is obviously a little bit more forgiving, but you don't need to leave this product on there for long. You've got to be careful of it drying out. You don't want it to dry, so, you know, as always, if your panels or your glass are hot, come into the shade and do this particular operation. But good layer over there, leave it for about a minute, and then go back over and buff it off. Or because as I suggested, we do this, you know, while we're doing the wet work on the car, a good rinse of this product as well. But buff it first so you don't rinse it all down onto your scuttle where it could sit and kind of, you know, do some damage. So buff it away and then a rinse if you need to. That is your tar and glue remover decon done on your glass. The next decon step I'll do on really heavily contaminated glass is our friend Bilt Hamber Korosol, okay, which is it's formulated to be a paintwork decontaminant, but it says here for paintwork coatings, glass, plastic. It works on any form of iron contaminant, okay, that gets embedded into whatever you're trying to clear it from, and it does get embedded into glass. I mean, the obvious test is spray it on, and you will see if you've got fallout contaminant embedded into your glass, it will turn purple. When I was just trying to get some overlay footage for the video, the glass on the M135 didn't react, so it doesn't have much contaminant in there. It's pretty relatively new, well-maintained glass, so it didn't turn purple for me, but normally on a filthy car with contaminant in there it will, okay? So after you've done your chemical decon of the glass and you've removed all that product, okay, you can then clay your glass. And as always with claying, the check to see if you need to is feeling the glass on your car, okay? If there are still, after the chemical decon, a lot of times there is still stuff that the chemical decon will not get, you will feel it on your glass. you know, it won't always be silky smooth, the glass, until you've properly cleaned it with the method we're going to talk about later on. But have a feel, have an eyeball, look for little kind of residual bits of contaminant, specks of sap that are still there, and give it a clay. And you know, I usually find after going over it with the wire, wool and the chemical decon, there won't be too much there, so the claying process will be quite quick. And you know, I always just I keep that old dirty clay for doing that on glass. Lubricate it well, go over your glass, clay it down, rinse it off, and don't allow whatever you're using as a clay lube to dry on the glass, because that can be a bit of a pain to remove. We're using the Born Slippy concentrate just because it bulks up into litres of the stuff, and I'm still going with this bottle. You know, I must have had that for years now. So the Born Slippy, Dodo Juice Born Slippy concentrate is the clay lube I recommend, just simply because you buy it in a 500ml concentrate and you can bulk it right out, so it's quite cost effective and it works and it helps to reduce marring and stuff. But glass, obviously, a much harder surface than the kind of polyurethane clear coat, so it's less likely or virtually impossible you're going to scratch it from claying, okay, unless you've got a clay bar full of bloody, you know, full of shotgun pellets or something, so you'll be fine. So that is the aggressive cleaning covered for your car, okay? So it's the wire brush used with your shampoo bucket, okay? That is the chemical decontamination and the claying. And that will get you to a good foundation level now, where all of that heavy dirt is off of the car, and then you can go ahead and perform a normal kind of glass cleaning routine, which you're going to cover now in step 2 of this video. So just some basic things to cover here. When should you do this glass cleaning step, okay? And there will be people that do it at different times, but I do this as probably the last job on cleaning a car is the glass. You know, the things you typically do at the end, your last stage product, putting waxes and sealants on, putting your silicone dressing on, cleaning your glass. I will do glass last after all of those, especially dressing the car, because when you're dressing those trims around the window, there is a risk of getting silicone on the glass, okay? So if you do, then you can pick that up more efficiently when you're cleaning the glass right at the end. There's nothing worse than having to do something twice, okay? So you could clean your glass, then apply a dressing, and then put silicone on and have to clean the glass again. Cleaning silicone off is always a bit messy as well. So I would recommend you do this maintenance regular glass cleaning method we're going to talk about as the very last step of cleaning your car on a maintenance wash. Next thing I wanted to talk about is how long you should take cleaning your glass, okay? You do not, ideally, you know, when you're cleaning your car and it's a maintenance wash, you cannot spend hours on one particular job, you know, and do the full, you know, CSI Miami, as I call it, on this. You've got to have a method which will deliver you results, but you can do reasonably quickly. So I would say you should really aim to get all your glass cleaned using this regular maintenance method, not including the deep clean, which takes a bit of time. But I'd say within about 10 or 15 minutes is long enough, okay? You shouldn't really be taking more than that. You can do it quicker if you want to. The key thing is making sure you do it properly, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Okay, so I want to cover all of the products that I use to clean my glass for a regular maintenance wash. Now, the first thing and the most important thing, guys, the microfiber choice, okay? Now, it's only probably recently that I've really got fussy about what microfiber I use to clean glass. If I could wind the clock back 10 years, you know, if it looked like microfiber and felt like microfiber, I'd use it to clean my glass without worrying. But getting more into it now, I've kind of spotted problems with virtually most types of microfiber in terms of glass cleaning, and that problem is always, or most times, the fact that microfiber can get left on the glass, and you can see all these whiskers all from where you've rubbed it covering the glass, and I have to avoid that like the plague. That keeps me awake at night if that happens, because it's a pain to get all those whiskers off. Now, normally you'd think that any type of microfiber like these would be absolutely fine for cleaning glass, okay? So you would just apply your glass product and then go and buff it off with a form of microfiber. But that is not the best method, okay? And these are examples of cloths that I'd have happily used, you know, 5-10 years ago to clean my glass. But the golden rule is, if these cloths feel soft and fluffy, you know, and they've got quite a nice sort of plush nap on them, you are going to end up pulling fibres out of them, okay? Because when you clean glass, especially after you've applied like an alcohol solvent-based cleaner, and then you've worked that, and then you go to buff it off, you will work the fibres on these microfibres really, really hard, and you will pull small threads of them out. So your choice of cloth is really, really important. So what products should you be using to clean your glass? And this is just my recommendation. So the first thing is I clean my glass using 2 cloths, okay? So the first cloth is an extremely thin, kind of quite coarse and quite rough feeling glass cloth from the Ragmaster, or the Rag company in the US, and it's called the Premium Glass Cloth, I believe, and it's about £4.50, or it might be £4.65. Again, as with all videos, the links to all of these products across here will be in the description. I believe this might be £4.65 a cloth. Okay, now the key thing about this cloth is it has no nap. Okay, it's incredibly, the denier of the fibre that they're using in this cloth is incredibly thin, and it's a real compact weave in this. I don't even know what it's called, okay, but it has a coarseness to it. Now what I use, this is the first cloth I use when I go to clean glass. One, because this cloth has virtually no absorbency, okay? If you spray some product onto it, spray a good film of glass cleaner on there, this product gets saturated immediately. You can see the dark spot on it, and if you look through it, it's dark on the other side. So it has very little absorption capability, okay? So you can, the word I suppose I'm going to use here sounds a bit cheesy, but you can impregnate the cloth with cleaner and use this cloth, which is nice and coarse, to really work that glass surface quite hard. So it's a good, it's probably the best cloth that I've used for that first initial wipe for those reasons. You do not want to be using a sort of terry cloth that's going to just absorb product and give up kind of microfiber when you work it really hard over the surface. So these premium glass cloths from the Ragmaster and the Rag company are the best that I've used, and I've played around with a hell of a lot of them. There's some other good ones as well, don't get me wrong. I used to use these kind of, they're almost like a waffle weave, but these are a glass cloth, and these are also quite abrasive and they don't give up fibre, so these will work as well. But I've just found these are a little bit coarser, they last forever, and they just do that initial job, which is to work that product and really abrade on the glassware, okay, and get it clean. So that's the first cloth covered, okay, the Ragmaster Premium Glass Cloth. Now, the second cloth. So this is where you go back in, so you put your product out over the glass and you work that product, and how you rub over the glass is something that's important as well. The box method is the one that I think a lot of professional detailers use, because if you just go into kind of autopilot mode, which is what I do when I'm cleaning the car, and my mind is flying around all over the place. If you just go into autopilot with the box method, what it will do is it will ensure that you cover the whole panel and don't leave or miss any bits, okay? So the box method means whatever particular bit of glass you're cleaning and however you've broken it down in your head, you'll go around the border of that glass first, okay? Right the way around the edges, right to the edge, and really get it in there. Then once you've got around the edge, you do like a crosshatch pass as if you're machining the paint. So then you'll go up and down or side to side, whichever one you want, all the way across that panel. And then you can either go back round the glass again, or you can do a crosshatch pass the other way and then back round again, okay? The key thing is you do everything twice and you do that crosshatch. And that will mean that you cover the whole panel and don't leave any gaps, okay? And sometimes when you're cleaning it, okay, you'll go over a bit and you'll still see something there, so you'll go back and do it again. You know, the absolute, you don't have to be like a robot and just follow it. So you can stop and pay attention if you see anything there that needs kind of a bit more work. But that's the method I use anyway, because like I say, you can go into autopilot, but you won't miss any of your glass. Okay, so the second cloth that we use to go in and buff away that kind of obviously the glass cleaner kind of works on any oils, any silicons, any grease, any grime, and breaks it all down. But it doesn't lift it off of the glass, okay? You're kind of, that first phase is to kind of work that product in and really kind of like with a coarse cloth, really work it and agitate it. That second towel is to then come in and buff off anything that's kind of left there, okay? And that's the secret to getting a really clean kind of finish on your glass. Now, before using these second cloths, which are premium waffle weaves from the Ragmaster or the Rag Company, I just used to use really thin terry cloths that are coarse. Now, I don't know what they're called. They're just terry cloths, and I couldn't find like a brand of them that do this. I've got so much microfiber. I just happened to have a few of these and found they were really good for glass. And they are slightly different. It's virtually impossible for me to explain on the video because I've got two microfiber cloths here. I don't know if they're in focus. This one feels all nice and soft, okay? And if I use this on glass, we'd get the whiskers. This one feels all coarse and thin and floppy and quite, it's quite abrasive, but this doesn't give up any fibres, and it has just about enough absorbency to get that kind of residue off. So there are terry cloths out there that I know other people will use that aren't the waffle weaves, but probably in the last year, since just trying kind of waffle weaves on glass, I've now moved over to using waffle weave. The reason being is it has enough absorbency to actually kind of scoop up that mess that's kind of left behind. But it doesn't have any sort of nap that you can pull out, so it will not leave fibres, and it leaves a really nice streak-free clean finish. So it's the best format of towels, okay? You don't have to use the Ragmaster or the Rag Company waffle weaves. The reason I do is because I find these are the softest ones that I've found. They're probably the highest quality, and they last up for a long time as well, okay? So some of the other lower quality microfiber will still work, but it will probably over more and more wash cycles, it will probably die quicker than this premium kind of waffles. You do not need a lot of them. One of the key things, guys, with this second cloth that you use them for your glass cleaning duties only, okay? You do not want any other products getting into these cloths, especially like waxes and polishing oils and stuff like that, okay? You just want a set of premium waffle weave microfiber that you dedicate to your glass cleaning of your car. And if it's just your one car, I would suggest you get 5 of these premium waffle weaves and 5 of these premium glass cloths, okay? That will do you for any car, okay? In fact, you could probably get around the car using 2 or 3 of each, but I tend to go nuts on microfiber, okay? Because when you have a clean microfiber with no product in there, especially with this buffing off one, it makes a hell of a difference. So we've covered my 2 favourite cloths for both stages of the glass cleaning: the premium glass cleaner and the premium waffle from the Ragmaster and the Rag Company. Links to both of those products will be in the description. Out of all the things in this video, if I could prioritise the importance, the choice of cloth that you use is up there, probably at number 1. And having these cloths clean, especially these ones that you're going to be buffing off the residue with, is also absolutely critical. So that both of those things are pretty much equally critical. If you go and use different cloths, soft fluffy terry cloths, you may get your glass clean, you know, you will, but you will leave whiskers there, and you know, whiskers of microfiber, because you are, like I say, that glass really sticks to your microfiber when you clean it, okay? So it's a solid recommendation. The next bit of kit that I recommend you have, okay, it's a glass cleaning kind of arm. That's the only way I can describe it. You pick these up in Halfords, and I'll put a link in the description with the price. I can't remember off the top of my head how much they cost, but I don't think they're much more than the £5, okay? This is a really handy thing. I bought it for the old van when I had the van, because I couldn't physically reach all areas of the windscreen. But I've actually started using these to clean the inside of the glass, okay? And the reason I use these for the inside is because when you're inside a car, it is really hard to get your hand flat on the cloth and really get it everywhere. And also with the cloth, you can't get down in that little recess between the dashboard and the very bottom of the glass. You know, if you're poking it in there, but you're not getting any pressure on there. Whereas this tool, if you look at it there, has this kind of ability to kind of get in there and clean right the way under, you know, past your dashboard line. And sometimes on a car that's not being cleaned well, you will look in from the outside and around the edge of the glass, you'll see all those smears, product smears, from where products got in there, but they haven't been able to buff it off. So this will solve that problem. And like I say, it also solves the problem. When I'm 41 now, and when you clean the interior of a glass of a car, especially, well, mainly the front windscreen and the back windscreen on a saloon, you know, that is gut-busting work, and you'll be sweating. This just takes away a little bit of that gut-busting work, and it also does a really good job of getting into all the places and just putting consistent flat pressure on it. With this pad, or with this tool, you can also buy packs of the pads separately, and they just rip off and you can put new ones on. You can stick them on the wash and they seem to hold up well. They are abrasive, like the cloths that we use for that first step of cleaning glass. So this is a really, really handy bit of kit, guys, and it will save you time. It will get you better results. But like I say, I use it for the inside of the car. Once I have worked the product with the old tool, I will then get a clean waffle weave, and the best way I can, I will get my hand flat on the panel, which is the hard bit, and then you just grit your teeth and buff the hell out of that paintwork for as long as your arm will keep giving you the strength. Because you know there is no pretty way of cleaning the inside of glass. You've just got to get there, get your hand on it, and make sure you can access as much as you can. Okay. You could put a clean pad on this and kind of use it, because there is a bit of absorbency there, but I just prefer getting the waffle weave to get the product off myself. But you know, we'll all have slightly different ways of doing it. The final third section of this video is some steps you can take to make maintaining your glass and keeping it clean a little bit easier. So we talked about all those bonded contaminants that stick to your glass. You know, the more you drive your car, you know, the more it's outside in the environment, the more the environmental contaminants will get stuck on that glass. So as well as having sealants for your paintwork and kind of clear coat, you now have a whole range of products out there that are sealants for your glass. Now I've used quite a few of these products and, you know, tested various ones, and there's some awful glass sealants out there. There are some stinkers that just make mess on your windscreen. They don't seem to bond, they don't seem to dry, they don't seem to do anything. And then when you turn your windscreen wipers on, you can see all the ghosting coming off them and all that sorts of things because they haven't set properly. There are some howlers. The one on the channel which I recommend after doing the Angelwax review, or in fact I recommended this before I did the Angelwax review, and it was because of this product and some others that led me to want to do the review of Angelwax. So Angelwax have a product called H2GO, H2GO glass sealant. And if you go and watch my Angelwax brand review, you'll see this product in use. So applying this product is very easy. You just go ahead and do that kind of glass cleaning method that we've talked about there using these products. Once your glass is clean, you squirt some of your H2GO onto a microfiber applicator. You work it onto your section of glass. You give it 15 minutes to cure and dry, or for the solvent to vaporize and leave behind the active kind of component, which is probably, you know, I don't know what it is. I always guess in the chemistry, but it's probably a polyxylazane, you know, resin or something, you know, a bonding sealant on the glass. And so you buff off, you know, you buff it off after 15 minutes. Then I'd wait another 10 minutes and do another coat, because 2 coats of this is dynamite. What this will do when you put 2 coats on and then you allow it to fully cure is it will just provide a barrier over your glass, and that barrier isn't going to cause any issues with your wiper blades sticking and bouncing around, because the product is formulated to reduce the kind of grip that the wipers are going to have on the glass. And it also, the key thing for me, if you let it cure properly and you apply it to clean glass, you know, install it properly, you will not get into that horrible ghosting that you know, on the windscreen wiper blades that some of them do. Okay, so that's why I like it. It also lasts a fair few months. Now, here's the thing. On my BMW, I don't use any glass sealants at all. The reason being, I wash the glass on that car routinely once a week. It's garaged, so it's not used as a kind of daily, although I do poodle around in it a fair bit. But I keep it clean, so I don't have a problem with build-up of contaminants. On a car like the Golf that might get cleaned once a month, hasn't been cleaned for a while, it really makes a noticeable difference to how dirty that glass gets and how easy it is to clean. So the Golf has the sealant on there. So it's a really good thing for daily drivers that are out there getting blasted by the elements. But you know, I think with all products you've got to kind of decide if they're, because they are an investment. You know, if you're going to add a sealing your glass to every maintenance wash, you're going to add another 15 minutes or half an hour with the cure times of that. And this is something you're going to do at the end. So I want to have my maintenance washes done on my BMW very quickly. And I don't want too many products on there actually. So I kind of go down the line of just cleaning that well rather than using lots of products. But a lot of people won't like that, and they will use, you know, and they will make sure lots of areas of their cars, the wheels, the trims, the glass, the paintwork, even the internal stuff is all protected, and that seems to be the way this is all going. The kind of the detailing side of things are going, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm behind the times and a bit lazy. I'm still of the opinion that perhaps with car cleaning, no matter what you do, no matter what you put on it, no matter what you use, no matter how much you spend, when you go and drive it, your car can get filthy very quickly. So one of the best investments of time you can have is making sure you have a good regular wash routine. It's another video for the future, and making sure you stick to that and do your regular wash and do it very well. And this glass cleaning step that we've covered here is a really important part of that, because it's really nice to have a crystal clean glass windscreen when you've cleaned your car and you take it out for that first time. Okay, so that is Angelwax H2GO H2GO glass sealant. I used to look after a system called H2GO, so I always muddle that up. Right, one other thing, if you do use a dedicated glass sealant, or you don't, but you want to, but you don't want to put the investment of time in there, this is a great little product from Autoglanz Vision, glass cleaner and sealant in one. You wouldn't know there was a sealant in there when you use it to clean your glass. That's the one thing I'd say about it. But you will see the hydrophobic effect after you've used it. It's a really good cleaner that just adds that sealant on top. It seems to be compatible with the H2GO, because I've used this on my glass on the Golf, so it will also top up a sealant that you've got on there, but it will also lay a pretty decent sealant down as well. Just obviously I wouldn't recommend you use this on the inside of your glass, because I don't see too much point of putting sealant on the inside personally, but this is a good little product if you don't want to do the whole detailing thing. It's quite a ritual event putting glass sealant down and buffing it all off and doing it again. That's nearly an hour of your time while you're waiting. Then this, as a glass cleaner with a built-in sealant, is an excellent product. They're both called Vision. This is the Autoglanz Vision cleaner and sealant in one. And the Angelwax Vision is just a sort of pure cleaner, if you like. Okay, the final maintenance step, and again, this is going back to my brand review of Angelwax, which I strongly suggest you go and watch if you haven't done. Sorry for the cheesy stuff. We covered their screen wash clarity, okay, and this was one of the products in the review which I kind of recommended and really liked, because so many of the screen washes that you buy from Halfords, or if you're in America, Walmart or wherever you get them from, they are some nasty, cheap ass things, you know, they are rubbish. They really are. Whereas this Clarity, you know, as well as it being a premium product, helps to maintain the Angelwax sealant for longer, okay? And it's not an expensive product with the dilution ratios, because now in the summer you can mix this out at 19:1. So like I say, this must be a litre, yeah. This 1 litre bottle, which I don't know how much it costs, I'll put a link, I think it's about 25 quid. It will make it'll make 20 litres of product, and 20 litres of windshield screen wash. It's going to last you a hell of a long time, okay? So there's another little tip to helping to maintain your glass, Angelwax Clarity, that we've covered in full detail on the Angelwax brand review. One other thing I need to cover, guys, when you have finished cleaning your glass and you've got it to a standard you're happy with, hopefully using the methods I've described here. You don't have to, you know, this is just how I do it, but it'd be nice if people liked this method and followed it. It works for me. You must have clean wiper blades, okay? The wiper blades really do scrape up kind of dirt, and you will see thick black grime on wiper blades, especially if you're cleaning someone else's car. You know, if you're a professional, the wiper blades are one area that get filthy, almost to the point where if they haven't been cleaned for a while, you could take them off and really get them in front of you and scrape all that dirt out. You can use pure IPA to clean them, you can use glass cleaner, you can use a toothbrush, but microfiber running down it when you've got all that gunk that you can scrape out. But get them just nice, clean rubber, okay? That's really important, and it's especially important if you're using sealants, because there's nothing worse than getting a really nice clean glass and sealing it and then realising you're dragging greasy rubber with all that black gunk over it. So that's a really important step to all of this, cleaning the wiper blades. So there we have it, guys. I think I've covered everything, the 3 steps, the deep cleaning process and all the products that we use there to scrub with the wire wool and decontaminate your your glass work to a good foundation. Then we've covered our regular kind of routine cleaning steps using these cloths from the Ragmaster that I've recommended, using our Halfords, God knows what you call it, glass cleaning stick, using our Angelwax Vision or our Auto Perfector M1 glass, and then over to our 3rd step, the maintenance, again using the Angelwax sealant or the Autoglanz sealer cleaner and the Angelwax Clarity. Those are the recommendations. And it's very important for me to say, when I recommend you these products, I'm not getting paid to recommend you anything, okay? I'm recommending them to you because they're the ones that I think are the best. As always on this channel, as well as it being me kind of filming and broadcasting this stuff out there, which is a bit of a weird thing to do, I like to read the comments, and I get a lot of good feedback from other people that have got other methods, and sometimes those methods, in fact most times those methods are better than mine. So I would really like to know the most important things for me are what combo of cloths, or individual cloths, maybe some people do it with that. I know some people just do it with the old blades like you do with your house. So I want to know what method you use, or what combo of cloths you use, what cleaning products you find to be the most effective for you and why, and what sealants you like. And if there's any other tips on the deep clean and the decontamination I've missed there, I'd really like to know those as well. Thank you very much for watching this video on how to clean and maintain your automotive glass. What's coming up next on the channel, guys? I've been putting together a list of sealants, okay, synthetic sealants products, because we've spent quite a lot of time looking at natural waxes and making our own natural waxes and rating natural waxes and talking about natural waxes. What I want to do is a best of style video on all of the synthetic sealants for paintwork that are out there, okay? And I've started doing some research and compiling a list. So if you've got any strong views there on what sealants you think should be in that test, I'm going to try and limit it to about 10, and I'm almost there. But let me know, because I'd be interested in your opinions on that. I'm trying to do sealants that are not water-based, so I don't want the kind of cationic water-based ones that you spray on and they kind of very easy to use and you can rinse them off as well. That kind of whole breed of sealants, which has been very popular over the last 3 years. I'm looking for more traditional paintwork sealants, the acrylic types or the polysilazane ones, you know, the amino polysilazane. Traditional sealants that provide long-lasting durability over and above our Carnauba paste waxes. So that's going to be coming next on the channel. There'll be a whole load of other stuff as well. I still sit there plotting what I'm going to do next, and there's a few bases that the channel needs to cover in order to kind of, you know, I want to cover all of the areas of detailing. There's some huge gaps. So far we've been chucking all these videos out, but sealants is one thing I really want to cover. And there'll be some more best of videos coming along later on in the year, perhaps looking at tyre dressings as well. We might even start doing some abrasive comparisons. There'll be some more test kind of videos and debunking stuff. That's something I'm thinking of now. But as always, if there's any particular things you want to see on the channel, let me know. And I do keep a little list and record of all the requests, and the ones that sort of are at the top that the most people are requesting are the ones that I try and do. You know, this is important to listen as well as talk. As you know by now, I do more than enough talking here. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.